turn 19, turn 20, exit of turn 9. And if we can get a look around the track, maybe on an onboard early on, I'll try and point out where those are.
Under 30 seconds to go green, under 30 seconds to go green.
The Hong Kong-based KCMG team, Christian Reid, Wolf Hensler and Joel Kimethius.
15 seconds.
Let's leave this to Eduardo Freitas to count the guys into this GT session.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. LMGT session has started. LMGT qualifying session has started. Again, attention to track limits.
So 20 minutes on the clock, and immediately the number 50 Labour competition car rolls out, which I think is going to have Ricky Taylor qualifying as part of the driving team there. He was making it clear, having just nicked pole position for the American Series by 0.003 of a second over the two Mazdas, that he was dashing down at the other end of the pit lane, and indeed that is confirmed. Ricky Taylor is behind the wheel, so out of a Corvette prototype into the more usual Corvette for the world market, being the GT car. This is the Labour competition run car. Louise, you've got the very enviable position of being able to watch those cars out of the pit lane.
Oh, it does look beautiful seeing them go up into that first turn.
Yes, I wish we were there.
So Ricky Taylor, this is the second of 3 races we'll see the young American in the Labour competition Corvette. Part of Corvette's sort of development drive, I think.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting what's going on here with Corvette, and the push, I think, to get a pro car into the FIA WEC in 2017. A number of announcements about new manufacturers coming into sports car racing. Honda with their Acura brand have just announced a GT3 program over here in the States with Michael Shank Racing and Real Time Racing, who are a long-time Honda stroke Acura racing team in saloon and GT cars.
For the Pirelli World Challenge, that second effort. So Honda arrive in GT racing in 2017, but not in the FIWC with the GT3 car.
Yes, not yet. I have to say, I think it can't be too long before the Far Eastern manufacturers start looking rather enviously at GT competition in the world stage. This is turn... where are we now? That was turn 9 into turn 10, yes. So go too far to the right there and Eduardo's going to get a bit annoyed with you. This is turn 11, going onto the back straight. The US arm of Chip Ganassi Ford Racing stole the pole position with Ryan Briscoe in the American Series that qualified a little earlier on this afternoon by about half a second. Did have a slightly different balance of performance. This is turn 12, down through the brakes, hard left, wait, now turning, patience, on the throttle. Watch the track limits there, 14, a right-hander coming up. This is the technical part of the last third. See the bright orange curbs there to the right-hand side. You can't ride those. 15, got to brake and turn at the same time here. Easy to lose the back end. Look for that apex on the left-hand side. Get on the throttle really hard. Short shift up through the gears. Set the car up for 16, 17 and 18. A long 180-degree triple pressure right-hander. Track just falling away a little bit as you come through the final part of that. Now 19, track's being shaped here. Turning in, aiming at the curb. Sun in your eyes there as you were coming through. Down to turn 20, hit the brakes really hard, scrub off the speed. Do not run out too far on the right-hand side here. That's another place that will cost you your lap time. That was half a lap at least with that Ford there, giving you some idea of the 5.5 kilometres, 3.5 or so miles of this circuit.
So Ricky Taylor, 4 minutes into the session, can he make what must be a very rare double pole in international sports car racing in 2 separate races?
He's done it before in terms of raced in 2 separate races here. He was in a Pro Corvette that time, wasn't he, with his brother and Tommy Milner, I think it was, a couple of years ago now. One-off outing. How quickly this 20 minutes disappears. Front end of Ricky Taylor's Corvette dips as he comes out of the 20th and final left-hand corner, heads towards the stripe for the finishing line. Wind must have changed because the aircraft are taking off and landing in the opposite direction now, coming from our right to our left as they are taking off, rather than landing from our left to our right as they were earlier today. So the Ben Barker driven Porsche first to shore in the AM class with a 207.5, Fernando Reis 205.0 for Aston Martin. Now remember, it's the average of a single lap from two drivers, so the best lap from each of two nominated drivers in the same car then is the time that gets posted.
So Marco Sorensen now quickest in this, the number 95 Dane train. Aston Martin showed extremely well last summer in Mexico City before a bit of an error as the track just got a little bit too wet for Nicky Team, and fought back valiantly to rescue a podium finish for the 95, but 87, sister car, came home with the full 25 points. GT, what can that do here effectively on home ground?
It's looked very, very stable, that car, even in the greasy, hot track conditions that we've had this week. One of the few cars in the GT categories that we haven't seen sliding around. It's not the sort of car to do that with. Has immense aerodynamic grip. It clearly has decent mechanical grip as well. Oh, possibly a little bit too wide at turn 20 there. Davide Rigon is quickest with a 204.5. 204.579 for Marco Sorensen, 204.775 for Stefan Mucker, 204.987 for Andy Prio, and Fernando Reis at 205 flat. So the top 5 cars in GTE Pro, half a second.
That's a fabulous slow-mo there of Andy Prio. Pinpoint perfect through and avoiding those pyramid curbs, I think we'll call them.
That's how close you have to be. I heard somebody in race control calling them lumps the other day.
It's a technical term. The likes of us aren't clever enough to understand that kind of level of technicality.
In AM, it's Ricky Taylor for Corvette with a 207.0, from Ben Barker with a 207.0, from Pedro Lamy in the 98 Aston Martin with a 207.6. And straight away back into the pit lane, the 97 Fernando Reis getting a top up of fuel, and Fernando is out of the car. Now we've seen this a couple of times recently, Graham. That might not be the end of Fernando's work.
Well, Fernando gets one quick lap on the new tyres. Let's see what Darren can produce, and then see who's confident of improving the most.
Correct. That's exactly correct.
Well, 54 thousandths of a second at the moment separate the top 3, John. Jimmy Bruni goes straight to the top. It's a Ferrari 1-2, 24 thousandths then back to Davide Rigon, 204.5s to both of them, and a 204.5 as well for Marco Sorensen.
It's interesting because having seen the American Series running all this week, it's interesting to see how the World Championship versions of the cars are going. The Ferrari has been quick here in the American competition, as has the Ford, but the Ford, as I say, has a different balance of performance here to the American Series. 97 has stayed on the same set of tyres that Fernando Reis had, and Darren Turner has been sent out. Louise telling us that seems to think that Aston might only use one set of tyres here.
Mucker meanwhile up to third in the Ford, so that's another 204.5, so now it is the top 4 separated by 54 thousandths.
And we've not got to averages yet, by the way. These are actual lap times.
Correct.
So the top 4 separated 0.054 of a second, and then there's a huge gap of 3 and a bit tenths to Andy Prio. So where did you lose that 0.024? No, it's fine, I know exactly where I lost it. 95 Nicky Team stays on the same tyres as he goes out.
So 11 minutes to go. It's Ferrari 1-2, 51 from 71. Then it's a 66 Ford, 95 Aston Martin, the second, number 67 Ford, the second, number 97 Aston Martin. Then it's Richard Leitz in the number 77 Porsche. So we get into the AM cars, John.
Which is led by Ricky Taylor with a 206.9 from a 206.9 and a 207.0. the 50 of Ricky Taylor a 986, the 98 of Pedro Lamy a 999, and a 7061 for Ben Barker. So again, we're talking tiny margins.
0.13 of a second between the top two cars, and just less than a tenth to the third car.
Quick reminder, of course, that the two Pro Aston Martins are now running Dunlop tyres, which have been built specifically for the 16 car, whereas the AM Aston Martin with Pedro Lamy pitting that car is on Michelin's, which is a more general spec tyre. Two Ferraris coming into the pit lane now. Jimmy Bruni already there.
Bang on halfway through the session.
Absolutely.
Now they are a team that has played this game before, given that Aston Martin are playing, but clearly not this time.
Another point to make here that this circuit at the Circuit of the Americas is mainly a left-handed circuit. A little bit of stacking going on here in the pit lane. So the 51 decided to hang about, the 71 came in and found it halfway into its pit lane. Oh, hello. The 83 that in there as well, that's the issue.
Now the issue is actually further back, John. It's because the whole of the field is actually in the pit road. There's a prototype car, I think it's the 43 car, was in the way and couldn't allow the 83 to get the optimum line into its pit stall.
Wow, that's interesting. Didn't take the steering wheel off to get in there. Sam Bird got in. New tyres for both the Ferraris, 51 and 71. Davide Rigon and Jimmy Bruni's tyres are being taken off. So Sam Bird will get a new set. Corvette getting a new set of tyres as Ricky Taylor comes into the pit lane as well. Nicky Team already has set the fastest first sector of anybody on the used tyres on the Aston Martin, the used Dunlops, with a 26.7. And when you consider there's 0.054 between him and a provisional pole position, this may be a little tighter than we thought as Darren Turner comes around turn number 15. Spit it out, John. Love this long right-hander. Basically took the car in and hang on for the ride. Very close indeed here for Aston Martin, number 97, back in the Valero colours this weekend.
Much more blue on the front of that car, and it does look the better for it as well.
Yeah, I like it.
Through he comes.
And Turner clocks. Actually, I can't tell you because I've only got the averages. And our third screen's not working at the moment.
We're going to have to trust, I'm afraid, the average out there. It doesn't improve, and we won't see that until the second drivers are actually completing their second laps. At the moment, it is still a Ferrari 1-2. James Collado and Sam Bird now aboard. Ollie Plar is now aboard the number 66 Ford. Nicky Team, Darren Turner now in the Aston Martins. Andy Prio has just pitted in the 67 Ford. Michael Christensen takes over from Richard Leitz in the Porsche.
David Richards in the Aston Martin pit lane. This is unusual that we don't have the individual lap times coming in for the two drivers on our screen. Just to the 7 minutes to go. Darren Turner's average for his lap and Lando Rees's lap is a 2:04.889, which means that James Collado can do something around a 2:05 before he starts having to worry.
A quick shot in the gear, of course, a garage there with Martin Ferrari and Davide Rigon, but we're now aboard with Sam Bird in the number 71 car.
And how low that sun is, that's going to be a problem, isn't it?
It
goes
is.
straight down the pipe as you go down to the braking area at turn 12, Graham.
Very warm indeed, and warmer still. You know, that's exactly what you want, isn't it? That on a very warm day, let's strap somebody into a carbon fibre and glass capsule.
Yes, with something very hot either in front or behind you. Let's not forget with a 3-layer Nomex fire suit on and an extra layer just to make it so you don't catch a cold. Let's put a set of Nomex underwear on as well. as well, of course, of having a hugely hot engine, gearbox, and potentially a turbo somewhere near you, either right under your feet or right behind your back.
5.5 minutes to go, and a couple of questions coming in. We'll try and deal with them if we can, if the action allows. Difference between the 16 and the 15 spec Aston Martin's got this one from Sven Johnson, and the difference is completely different bodywork, albeit looks very similar on this Aston Martin.
Until you stand them together.
Absolutely, and of course that great big diffuser at the back. And some other detail changes as well, including the escape cell, of course, for the 16 spec cars.
Right, yes.
So it is a totally different skin to the car, totally different aero, and it's proving to be mighty effective.
I don't even think the door skins are the same. I think the roof is the same. The roof skin is the same, but I think every other panel has changed. Darren Turner has pitted and is sitting in the pit lane.
Oh, trouble there for the number 86, the Gulf UK car. That's just been handed over to Mike Wainwright. And
he's just flat spotted his new set of tyres there.
Indeed, third quickest at the moment, that car, but Mike is going to need to get a lap in the books to get any hope whatsoever of retaining that mark. As I say, this car proved to be very competitive indeed in Mexico City, ran with the leading pack.
Is it just me, Graham, or does everybody seem to be taking their time here? Maybe you're only going to put 1 or 2 laps on the tyres. Darren Turner has done 1 flying lap and come straight back in. His lap average, and there's only he and the number 67 Ford and now the 77 Porsche who have got 2 laps in. Add Nicky Team to that now. So Nicky Team for Aston Martin is the best of the cars that have put 2 laps in, the 95 car with an average of 204.6. Here is Sam Bird, 205.549 by his teammate James Collado, by his teammate earlier on. Yes, James Collado.
He's now, with the average of the 2 laps, has gone to provisional pole position.
He hasn't completed his lap yet, Graham. He's coming round to do it.
You're absolutely
right.
And does he retain that?
The 6th lap for car 98 will be deleted. Paul Dallalana, that was turn 9.
He doesn't. Nicky Team now puts the number 95 Aston Martin on top
by 0.042 of a second. Now, they've all got 2 laps in from 2 different drivers. Harry Tinknell has yet to put in the lap for the 67. My apologies. It's reading across the wrong line there on the timing screen. So Paul Dallalana hasn't got his first lap in yet.
Now that's going to be a big disappointment because he's just put it on provisional pole position in class. He's not going to. Is he going to have time? He's going to barely have time to get in and out and set that lap.
Well, that must be from what Pedro Lamy did earlier on. Because
absolutely right, he's still showing 1 lap.
1 lap only. So here comes the 66. This is Ollie Platt. Needs to find a couple of tenths. Oh, Harry Tinknell's had a lap disqualified as well at turn 9. You heard quite clearly Eduardo Freitas saying as the cars went out, and the teams hear that as well. Oh, big sideways slide from the 67. Harry Tinknell is wound up here. Excuse me, it's the 66. It's Ollie Platt.
It's Harry Tinknell had just put that car with that lap to 2nd overall with the fastest lap of the session. Now Lars Viljoen is going to have the same penalty applied in what was the first laps, the provisional pole sitting.
Ricky Taylor's time, correct. So this is all going to shake out at in a moment or two.
Just under a minute and a half.
Now Paul Dallalana puts a time in that should be good enough for provisional pole, because Mike Wainwright sits ahead of him on timing and scoring, but has not yet
a second lap.
Put a second lap in.
Absolutely right. So in the pits, Nicky Team with 0.042 of a second of an advantage over Sam Bird over the average lap times. Sam Bird in the 71 coming through the Serpentine section, 345. This is coming through the danger area now. This is 6, 7. Here's turn 8. Then up over the rise to turn 9. You've got to stay on the track at 9. Right about, well, in fact, we're back with the 88 car now. So after this right-hander. The track climbs, turn left over the hill there, and the exit here, this is 9, this is where everybody's been getting caught out. Then a little kink at 10, and now hard braking area about now, halfway down that red and white curb on the right-hand side before you turn into 11. The Ford garage know that they've got something to prove here, because their American teammates captured pole position in the American Series with their cars, confusingly 66 and 67 for someone who's doing both the series.
It's Ollie Pla coming through to complete, and he's going to have a no, it's the 66 car. Ollie Pla goes through now. Does he
goes
improve?
Through to 3rd position.
Stays in 3rd. Harry Tinknell, though.
Another lap gone. Another lap gone. I think that's 2. The checkered flag's out, so Harry Tinknell's got the one he's on.
And that's it.
And that's it.
And
checkered flag for Paul Dallalana at the moment, sitting provisionally in pole position for Aston Martin in the ARM category.
And Harry Tinknell needs this to work because he has not set a flying lap.
Which means he'll go to the back of the pro field, because he's not got 2 laps that count. Effectively, they've not had their second driver with a lap on the board there.
I think he'll go to the back of the field, full stop.
Right.
I think that he will effectively not have qualified. I think he'll go behind the AM cars, which will be very bad news. Just got
the only car that hasn't got a second lap in at the moment is Harry Tinknell. Collado's gone through, he'll be no better than 4th. Pla still out there, Sam Bird still out there. The 2 Astons parked early, took nothing out of their tyres. Here comes the 71, Sam Bird crosses the line now.
Does not improve his position. He actually
got closer, 0.027 of a second.
Took a massive 7 thousandths of a second out of
that's close.
But Nicky Team being congratulated. But
Ollie Pla, what's Ollie Pla doing? I don't know, he's out of it in the middle sector.
He's lifted off. Harry Tinknell is going quickly still.
The interesting thing is, to me, is that the fastest lap was turned by a Ferrari, the 51 car, at 2:04.525.
An odd qualifying session. Tinknell, though, is still on this flying lap.
Coming through to the last third of the lap now, through 16, 17 and 18, that long right-hander. The road just falling away there. Now he's going to set the car up for the last 2 left-handers. Cannot afford a mistake here. He stays on the road at 19. Now, got to stay on the road at 20. Come on, Harry. Oh, that might be a little bit close for comfort. All 4 wheels beyond the line. Were they? Oh, 71's had a lap deleted at the end, so he goes back to 0.042. That was his last flying lap for Sam Bird.
And it's no improvement for Harry Tinknell in terms of overall position.
But it gets him on the board,
It does indeed, so he goes to the grid, indeed. But that was a pressure lap for young Englishman.
What are the prototypes going to make of this? There's going to be, I'll tell you what, there's going to be a right mess up here if people can't keep it on the track.
But it's another double pole position for Aston Martin Racing.
Yeah, golf clap here from the booth.
95 Danish Dynamite on the rear screen. And further, number 95 car, Nicky Team bringing the car home. Marcus Sorensen putting in the first time for that car. 2:04.610, the average across the 2 drivers. 42 thousandths of a second on average out of Sam Bird and Davide Rigon in the number 71 car. Could have been closer, but Sam Bird was one of a number of drivers who lost flying laps for track limits.
Multiply for Harry Tinknell.
It's a third make, third on the grid for GTE Pro with Ollie Pla bringing it home, the number 66 car.
So it's Aston, Ferrari, Ford, Ferrari, Aston, Ford, Ford in Pro, Aston, Porsche, 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 Ferrari and Corvette in ARM. Here's Nicky Team.
Again, I'm going to get in the photographer's photo. I'm very sorry, Nicky. Another pole for you guys.
Don't have to be sorry. I'm glad to be here. No, perfect. It's really close this time, I must say. We used a bigger gap, but it's nice to see. Even don't doing 2 laps. It's so hot out there, but yeah, looking forward to tomorrow. The guys did an outstanding job. We just keep pushing like every time, and yeah, 3rd time, and now I hope it will last to the end this time, because every time there's something going wrong, but I'm sure we have a good package, and tomorrow we push.
You stayed on the same set of tyres and didn't seem to do too many laps. Is that for